Hello, Facebook, and hello, Antioch, California, which is where I am. Hi, I'm Yogi_Cecily on Instagram and Yogi Cecily on YouTube, and I'm so happy to be here with you for another daytime yoga, vinyasa yoga, Facebook Live, later to be uploaded onto YouTube where you all can see it and share it and pause and go back and forth, rewind for anything that you miss. We'll put that on YouTube. But here on Facebook Live, I'm so happy to present to you more yoga, more yoga, more yoga. I hope you're doing well. We are into fall. I'm into the fall color schemes and trying to get us all in the mood for end of year 2022. We've done a lot this year, and I just want to today take a visit to Ashtanga Vinyasa Primary Sequence. That is sort of the original vinyasa, and I have tons of students. You know, for a time we're all really into the primary sequence, which does present some problems towards the end of it. We have a lot of binds and a lot of half lotus and some inversions and things like that that can be a challenge. So what would be a shortened version? I tell you what, right out of the box, we're not going to start with the sun salutes. Now, Ashtanga Vinyasa Primary was created by Pattabhi Jois. Let's say for all practical purposes, it was, you know, all big and the rage definitely by the 1970s. And I think in the 1970s, Pattabhi Jois himself might have been like 80 years old already, right? So we have a sequence that takes about an hour and 40 minutes to do the entire sequence. It starts with 5A sun salutes, which is minus the chair pose. And then it has 5B sun salutes, which adds the chair pose back in. So we're not going to do those. And then from there, it goes into the broad stances and then the Prasarita padottanasana. That's where I like to start. If I'm going to shorten things, I like to start in Prasarita padottanasana. So let's do it. You're going to come on up and stand up, shake your legs out. Now, if you've ever done the sequence, and if you're a purist, you're already mad at me for starting here. But if you know the sequence, you know that the vinyasa, chaturanga vinyasa, upward facing dog, and so forth happens many times. So to chop off some of the sun salutes in the beginning makes sense. A lot of times people can get through the triangle pose and they can get through the half moon, but Prasarita padottanasana offers kind of the first major challenge. The cue is to put your head on the floor. A lot of people can't do that. So we're going to start here. You're in the stretch already. Just enjoy for a minute. Maybe roll your shoulders, look right, look left. Maybe take a stretch, both hands over to the left. Both hands over to the right. Perhaps add a spinal twist. So right out of the gate, I'm kind of saying like, hey, use this pose, Prasarita padottanasana, as a warm-up for any yoga class. It'll get your hands on the floor, and for many folks, it will get their elbows down. So we can go back and forth here a few breaths. Long arms, look up, inhale. And then exhale, elbows down. Up is the inhale, right? And down, exhale. Let's do 3 more of these. Up is the inhale. Down is the exhale. You know, if you're having trouble getting your elbows down, up is the inhale. You've got your blocks. Down is the exhale. Yeah. 1 more. Up is your inhale. And down is your exhale. All right. Let's come up, wiggle your feet in a little closer, just a little bit. Place your hands on your hips. Yeah, take a breath and come all the way up. This is Prasarita A, B, C, and D. Arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold into Prasarita. Reach the arms back and through the legs. And yes, put your head on the floor or on a block. To do this, you know, you might stand a little bit wider. You might skosh out wider, but you are definitely reaching back past the back edge of your mat. We hold here and breathe. Let's breathe 3 more. Traditional 5 breaths, breathe 2 more. On the next breath, look halfway up. Maybe wiggle your feet back and stand all the way up. And we're on to Prasarita B. Hands on the hips, elbows drawn together over your back. Inhale and exhale. It's the same cue. Put your head on the floor. So I always skosh out a little bit, drop down, use the abdominals, but in Prasarita B, I do focus on getting the elbows closer together over the back. Breathe, 3, breathe, 2, and on 1, look halfway up, inhale. I always wiggle in a little bit to more safely come up. Breathe again. This is Prasarita B. See, the fingers go here. We're going to inhale and exhale. Or C, arms over the back now. And look at this, the shoulder blades drawing together. Now, big deal here, if you have a rounded back, you want to work to get the shoulder blades drawing together and work to get your arm bones rotating in. The cue, once again, is to not only put your head on the floor, but to get your arms further forward, much, much more forward. Breathe here, 3, trying to touch the ground there, 2, yes, and 1. Hands to the front. I look halfway up to breathe. I wiggle my feet in a little closer, and we stand all the way up. Inhale. Prasarita D, forward fold. We hold onto the big toes. Hook the big toes. Look up. Inhale. On the exhale, bend the elbows. Now, this is a draw. This is almost like you're trying to pull your toes off. All right, so it's what I'm going to say is a draw down and in. Breathe, 3. I do not stand as wide. I don't tend to go as wide in Prasarita D. I really want to draw the body down. Look at the elbows bent. And on 1, look halfway up. Take a breath, stand all the way up. Arms in a letter T. And then we stand at the top of the mat. Samastedi T. Now that gets us to a sun salute, right? So arms overhead, inhale, exhale, forward fold, look halfway up, inhale, jump back, chaturanga, upward facing dog, sure, why not? And downward facing dog, why not? So you can always modify that sun salute to make it simpler. So remember, what we're doing is I'm heavily modifying Ashtanga Vinyasa primary sequence and started with Prasarita A, B, C, and D. Now we're going to bend the knees softly, jump forward to the hands, straighten out the legs, look halfway up, inhale, exhale, press back down. Make the chair pose here. So again, this is a heavy adaptation. I'm putting a nice simple chair pose here. Breathe, 5. You have 5 traditional breaths. 4. I'm not making a big deal out of chair pose. I'm not trying to get the arms way up or anything. 3. If anything, I do want to sit lower. 2. Yes. And then 1. Stand all the way up. Inhale. Prayer position. Now, take your left foot, step back. High. First standing pose, triangle pose on the right side. I'm going to inhale and then exhale to the pose. All right, traditional Ashtanga, 2 fingers, hook the right big toe and pull the big toe up and actually pull rather the ribs down. So these are common Ashtanga Vinyasa primary cues. You're going to hear me apologize a lot today because if you're a purist, it's like this is out of order. All right? We're going to soften, release the grip, inhale up, and to the left side, Trikonasana. Almost always there's an inhale for preparation, then an exhale to the pose. We place the hand, gaze upward and breathe. 5, 4, steady breath, concentration, right? 3, right? See that big toe grip, breathe. 2. On the next breath, there's an easy softening so that you can come upright. Moving on to the rotated triangle pose, look how I bring my feet in closer. Always there's a breath to prepare, inhale, and then an exhale to the pose. The hand crosses over, we rotate. 5, yes, and 4. You are breathing and holding these counts. 3, you are concentrating on the properties of the pose. 2, not just stretching low, but extending your energy upward. On the next breath, soften and come up. See? Now we prepare the left side. Always an inhale, exhale, prepare. Inhale, exhale to the pose. This is what I think is missing in vinyasa these days. Breathe. 5 is these inhale, exhale preparations. 4, and then holding steady and concentrating in the pose. 3, is so fantastic. 2, yes, yes, yes. And then on the last breath, soften a bit. Inhale, upright. High. We go to the right side, Chaturanga Vinyasa. Now, normally would have stood at the top of the mat and done Samastiti T, but again, I'm heavily modifying so that we can kind of almost get through everything. Traditional, hold your downward dog, 5 breaths. 1, 2, inhale, exhale. It's really just about holding steady. 3, it's not even about trying to make it a perfect pose. 2, just hold steady and concentrate. On 1, we soften, bend, and jump. Inhale, exhale. We look halfway up, inhale. Exhale, press back down. I am out of order. Chair pose, I'm putting here. See? Hold steady. 5, 4. Do try to sit back and raise up a little bit more each time. 3, 2, and then 1, standing inhale and prayer position. Take your left foot, step open high. To the right side, Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. Always there's a preparation. Inhale, exhale. Acquire the pose, hold and concentrate. 5, yes. 4. See, these are all big strength lifting poses. 3, all of these poses are lifting up. 2, lifting up. On 1, slight soften and come upright. Control. Preparing the left side. Inhale and exhale, and then raise the pose and focus. 5. All right, breathe. 4. Now these poses do go in this order. 3, they do go triangle pose, rotated triangle. 2, then half moon, rotated half moon. On 1, soften and inhale, upright, smooth control. That's what you want. All right, good. Rotated half moon, always. Prepare the pose. Inhale, exhale, inhale, raise and hold. 5. Look how big I'm making the pose. 4, nothing slouchy in the standing leg. 3, if you're a purist, you know they really don't use blocks. It's like Really practice to make yourself bigger. Make your arms longer. Breathe once more and soften. Smooth control coming up. High. Left side. Prepare. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale and up, and here you are. 5. Your job is to look skyward as if you're putting a light bulb in the ceiling. Breathe. 3. Steady. Be steady. 2. Be steady. On 1. Soften and come upright. Already sweating. To the right. Chaturanga Vinyasa. So what are we doing today? Again, Ashtanga Vinyasa Primary. If you have an hour and a half, I recommend you check out the Ashtanga Vinyasa Primary video on YouTube with Patabi Joyce. I'll put the link in the description. It takes an hour and a half at least to see the whole thing. It's an old video from the 80s. But you'll see the whole thing and you'll see his way of teaching. Right? Good, so we bend the knees. We start to get good and okay with jumping. Start to get really okay with that. Look halfway up, inhale. Exhale, press down. If you're an Ashtanga purist, the fingertips reach backwards. The entire palm is on the floor and the head tucks in. Then we come up, inhale. For us today, we make the chair pose here. I'm not making a big deal out of the chair pose because it's really an opportunity for us to relax, concentrate, and steady out the breath. Breathe here. 3. Yes. 2. Look how we're looking right at the thumbs. And we stand up, inhale on 1. Prayer position. Take your left foot, step out. Good. To the right side, we're doing warrior 1. This is totally out of order because if you're a purist, warrior 1 happened like right in the beginning and really is barely revisited. So we're putting this here, warrior 1. And looking up, breathing, trying to reach the left leg back, trying to bend into the left one. So we want this big stance, trying to square out the chest. Then we go to warrior 2 on the right side. So again, I'm amending here. Hold the warrior 2. 5 breaths is traditional. Let's breathe 3 more. 3. Yes. 2. And come up in prayer position. Left side, warrior 1. Reposition the feet. Broad stance, Virabhadrasana 1. Breathe. 5. 4. Also, you see me for each breath, I'm making this pose better. 3. I don't want to assume I'm as deep as I can be, so we take the breaths to make it better. 2. And 1 is prayer position, warrior 2. And hold. 5. Yes. 4. Arms come right out from the shoulders. 3. There's nothing hunking up. The hips are riding low. 2. Press back and down into the back foot. And on 1, come up prayer. Nice. On the right side, we're going to make Parshvottanasana. Take your arms out. Inhale, turn the feet. Exhale, the right hand comes down on the inside or the outside. Outside for my traditionalist. And then we add the top arm. Breathe. 5. You can add your binding. 4, but Once you get the binding, you realize without the binding is actually the harder. 3, you have to concentrate and sustain the position. 2, with legs, all legs. And 1, coming upright. Preparing the left side. Change the feet. The back foot turns in about 5 degrees. Sharpen the arms. Inhale. Exhale. Look at the length of the arms. Comes down. And then we inhale. Exhale, hold. 5. Breathe again. 4, so inside or outside. I like inside. Helps me keep my inner thigh open, but outside is traditional. It's harder. 3, it's harder to bring your ribs down on the outside. 2, yeah, big pose. On 1, coming upright, smooth control, pivoting through the feet. Right side Chaturanga Vinyasa. Okay, oh my. Upward facing dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale. That'll work. So again, Ashtanga Vinyasa Primary, hold your downward dog. You know, instead of adding complexity like, you know, sundial pose and, super soldier pose and foot grabs and all of this kind of crazy madness, Kundanyasana, instead of adding, what I'm doing today is a takeaway. And I'm only taking things out to shorten the length of time in the work. But one thing we don't shorten is how we get so good at holding downward dog. Everybody who does Ashtanga Vinyasa Primary has learned how to go to sleep in downward dog. And my arms are burning. Let's bend the knees. Take that jump forward. Check this out. Look halfway up, inhale. Exhale, look at how I turn my fingertips. Next, I take the time to press the palms and then bow the head to the legs. Looking halfway up, inhale, good breath. And then the chair pose. Good. You always have a choice. Do you want to sit lower or raise higher? You can raise the arms higher, but it's hard to also then sit lower. So I just do the best that I can with both. Breathe. 3. Yes, 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 yes. Breathe. 2. Yes, yes, yes. And 1, stand all the way up. Inhaling. Prayer position. Good. We're going to step out. Great. This is going to be the rotated side angle pose. I'm going to pivot the feet. Inhale, exhale. Look at the left arm reaches out, over and around, and prayer position. 5. I will add the binding here. 4, so you all can see it on the back side. 3, 2, yeah, and 1. Soft release. Soft. Easy. Up. Smooth control. I cannot tell you how difficult and yet how important controlling your movements are. We inhale, exhale to set up. Inhale, exhale to cross over. Open. And I am going to add the binding. Otherwise, you're in a prayer position. Look at how the body rolls. Breathe. 3. All right. See, I'm trying to get my wrist grip. 2. Firming the rear leg. And then soft release. Smooth control coming up. Whoa. Right? Right side Chaturanga Vinyasa. Now comes what is the harder sequence, a harder part of the sequence. Upward dog and downward dog is standing balance. So I'm going to take something out there as well. and we're just going to do the forward leg. But we will do 10 counts on the held leg. So if you're traditional, you're like, oh, I see what she's doing. I'm going to take out the side position because it's the balance and the elevation, the holding of the legs that we want. Now, we're just going to look at the middle of your mat. Maybe don't jump so far forward. Jump maybe right in the middle. And we stand all the way up, inhale. Hands on your hips. Good. 2 fingers on the right hand. Going to take the right big toe. Yeah, you did. And then you extend the leg. 5, 4. You're very relaxed and attentive. 3, 2. The leg is going to stay, right? I'm going to take both hands back. 10, 9. Traditional, so you'll raise up. 8, 7. Hold that leg though. 6, 5, 4, 3. Concentrate. 2 and 1. Yes. Good. Place the hands on the hips and breathe. Same thing with the left leg. So, a lot of folks will have trouble getting just the big toe. Concentrate. Extend the leg. Hold. 5. Yes, yes. 4. A goal is that the leg doesn't go any lower than this. 3, 2. So ideally, when you let go, inhale, exhale, let go, there's no degradation. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. It burns. 5. Oh, Lord, it burns. 4, 3, 2, and bend on 1. Goodness. Arms overhead, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Look halfway up, inhale, and jump back, chaturanga. So you also see like, oh, it makes sense maybe to take out some of the sun salutes in the beginning. Because again, like I said, we do so many. Again, you want to look on YouTube. You want to see if you can find a full-length practice. And then witness the integrity of the Ashtanga students. There's so much physical integrity. Insane amount of physical integrity. I'm going to soften the knees and jump right about in the center. Look halfway up. Turn the palms back. Exhale. Bow the head down. This is all exhale. Release with an inhale. And stand all the way up. All right, now hands in prayer. Awesome. Let's face each other. Next up is one of the most hardest positions. It really starts to get difficult at this time. In a traditional class, you're about halfway through. And this is, I always say it's the middle of the book. There's 10 chapters. You have the first 5 chapters and it's like, oh, okay. And then it's like, what? All madness breaks out. So the next pose we're going to do is half-bound lotus pose. Well, the right foot comes up to the left hip socket. And I want to teach even my beginners, like, what is the etiquette? What would be the etiquette if you don't have the binding? First is that your left hand is on the bottom. See, it's on the bottom. And you can put the right hand on your heart. The next deal is that this knee needs to point down instead of sideways. So there's a little bit of work to lift and place. You see the toes are pointed up. Next etiquette is that the right hand could hold on to the left elbow. But your goal is that the right hand holds onto the right foot with a toe grip. The left arm will go up. My traditionalist will add in the forward bow. This is so difficult. It just takes all manner of major concentration. Good, and you don't want to bust a hamstring or strain the ligaments at the back of the knee. So there's a tiny micro bend in the left knee. Now, my purists, you're already there. You know what you want to do. But if you're a beginner watching this video, give yourself a break. Just to be standing this long on one foot is incredible. Coming up is probably the hardest thing you'll ever do. You made it. Etiquette. Left hand, release the right. Everything down. Arms overhead. Inhale. Hands on your hips to breathe. Now you're feeling all kind of work has happened in the standing leg. Let's do the other side. What is it called? Padottanasana. Half-bound lotus. I always want to get there. I want to take both hands and first decide, decide how my knee is feeling. If I want simple etiquette, just make sure that the right hand is under. See, it's underneath and that the right elbow is back a bit. Okay. If you're going further is to ensure that your left knee points down and that your left toes point up so that your left hand can get around and find the big toe. Yay. Right arm up. And easy now. This is no joke. Adding the forward fold. Right. And there's a few more pointers to bow the head down. So my purists are already there to lift the left shoulder, to send the ribs down and forward. We take a breath. Coming up, really must focus inward. You just gotta, this can be such a bear. Hands, left hand first, yes, and then release. Arms overhead, inhale. Good, prayer position. Excellent. All right, so that's all we're going to do of the standing portion. So we're going to turn back to the right and take an easy forward fold. Whoa. Now, can you believe that would be the whole first half, kind of, right? So you're finally into, the harder stuff. What? Yes, it gets so much harder. So I'm just going to bend the knees and squat on my toes. Not taking a jump here. I'm going to place my hands back, sit down, and legs out in front. Now I'm just going to go through these poses somewhat in order, and then you'll do your homework, your research. First up, Paschimottanasana. 2 fingers hook the big toes. We look upright. We exhale the elbows down while looking forward. 5. Oh boy. 4. The lungs, the diaphragm works like a bellows. 3. All right, I'm trying to exaggerate expanding in my back. 2. We call back breathing. And 1. Arms up, Dandasana. Hands back. Good. Point your toes. All 10 toes go to the mat. Yes? Up. Oh, gosh. So I took out, normally there are 2 forward folds. I took out 1. Went right to Padottanasana here. Breathe. 2. And 1. Come down. Good. Jump back. Chaturanga. Jump back. Yes. Jump back. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. And downward dog. Okay, then there's a jump through. Jump through, yes. There's a jump through. I will always bend and prepare and then jump the legs through. Arms up, Dandasana. Arms at your sides. Next up is a right side half-bound lotus again. So, you keep hearing me talk about purists. What the purists have done is they have really become experts at the some odd 10 poses that everybody else just gives up on. So if you're doing Ashtanga Vinyasa, most people just will take the Vinyasa and won't really finish their work on the sequence. Let's inhale up and release. Just about here, these half-bound lotuses, this is where the cream gets pulled from the crop, right? The cream comes to the top. So when I'm teaching a class, I'll say Ardha Padmasana, and 1 in 10 will move to the complete idea of the pose. And that's a shame. Yep, it's a little bit of a shame, because what people are doing is then they're adding, in contemporary vinyasa, they're adding other poses like Kundanyasana or Super Soldier. They're adding all of these other rather extravagant poses and not getting into some of the meditative poses that Ashtanga Vinyasa Primary offers us. I am skipping some of the chaturanga, and I'm going to now Triyang Ekapada Paschimottanasana. The right foot goes back. We clasp the hands overhead, and now the hands go forward past the foot. Let me get on my mat. Let me straighten out for you so you can see that. So the hands go past the foot, and after that, it's ideal for the elbows to come back down. Look how I'm looking up, looking forward, right? So we don't really want to get into the habit of grabbing the foot. We want to reach the arms forward. Breathe. 2 and 1. And then we come up. Arms at the sides and the other side. If you're with me, if you're doing the video with me and you get caught up, you're like, what? There's no way I could do these poses. What you'll want to do is what I used to do. I used to say, well, I know what the pose is. This is Triyang Ekapada Paschimottanasana. And I know that I'm not ready to fully fold the foot under. Maybe I have a blanket. Maybe I'm sitting off to the side. Doesn't matter. This is the beauty of Ashtanga Vinyasa Primary Sequence. They know you can't do all the poses. And they're just like, come back tomorrow. Try a little bit more each day. They're not saying this day, today, complete the pose. They're saying maybe 2 years from now, you'll be able to elegantly sit off and maybe just have your hands to the front. Okay. Roll back, roll forward, chaturanga, or jump. Upward facing dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale. See, so we softly bend the knees and jump through. Yes, that's the idea. The idea is you got to have some way that your feet get out ahead of your hands. Some way. And for most people, if there's 10 people in a class, 10 people look less than elegant doing it. It's not the most super sexy thing. Now the folks who can really do a handstand and pike through, that's great. But everybody else, it gets a little sloppy, and that's okay. It's meant to be vigorous. So don't worry about trying to be perfect in your jump throughs. All right, what's next? Moving on. Marichiasana A. No, Janusirsasana. I skipped around a little bit. Right foot comes in. Arms go up. And here it is again. The hands go past the foot, right? So that's a requirement. Just keep trying. Breathe. 5, 4. There are other formulas for Janusirsasana. 3, where you would be turning and twisting inside. 2. The arms will go up on 1, hands down, changing sides. Well, I hope you've been enjoying the class. We are almost done. We're going to start to finish up, even though there's no way that we are anywhere close to the end. So what have we done in modern classes Modern class is an hour long. We do a lot of sun salutes and then a lot of added poses. Very, very common added poses: lizard lunge, the twisted lizard. Obviously, if you're a Bikram person, you're adding in dancer's pose. You're adding in a warrior 3. But more and more people don't even add in the standing balances like tree pose and warrior 3. Now we do Marichiasana A. The right knee is up. The right hand is up. The ribs go down. The right arm goes around the leg, and then the hands clasp over the back. A phenomenal pose. This pose is for the gods. Right? Very few modern students even contemplating this pose, and so you're missing out on deep, deep core abdominals and massage of the inner organs. Good. I'm going to do the same pose on the left side so everybody can see everything. That is out of order as well, but I want everybody to see the back side of these poses. The left knee is up. Okay, I push myself forward. The left arm goes around low on the ankle. Ideally bind the wrist. You can bow the head down, but really your chin. It's really your chin, not your forehead, that's meant to touch. So there's that. 3, you see I'm trying to get my thumb and my index finger grip around the wrists. You can clasp the fingers, but it's meant to be so much more that your left hand walks up to the right wrist. Okay, let's release. Good, good, good. Marichiasana B. Very difficult pose. If it's on the right side, the left foot gets in the half lotus position. If it's on the right foot, the right knee comes up while the left knee goes down. So I'm going to turn this one out a little bit so you can see. That's asking a lot right there. Are you with me? Woo-hoo! Cecily, why are we doing this? My students know at least once a year I will say, okay, everybody, time to grow up. Time to grow up and do Ashtanga Vinyasa Primary Sequencing. And everybody goes, ugh. And that's how I know it's good for us. I know it's good for us because of the expression, you know. We're doing tons and tons of vinyasa and no one can bind into these poses anymore. Now, so this is Marichiasana B on the right side. The right arm goes around, the fingers and the wrist will grab, and then we bow down, the face in front of the left knee. And then breathe. 3. Oh yeah, I'm gonna scooch around in here because I think I'm off camera a little bit. So I want you all to be able to see. If you have the pose you're holding, otherwise you're kind of down in here. And 1 coming up. I'm gonna do the pose on the other leg. Now remember, that was the right side, so the right knee is up. Now I'm gonna put the right foot in the half bound position. Whew, and you might be thinking, sometimes I'm thinking it too, I'm thinking, whoa, my knees, like you really feel the knees being worked. You know, for me, the jury isn't out. But you do hear more and more like the knees over toe guy and the mobility experts saying things like, the reason why we have all these knee injuries is because we don't bend at the knee. But at the same time, even Dharma Mitra, you know, eventually got knee surgery. So I don't think that practicing yoga keeps you out of having knee replacement. So before we do the pose, let's just review most people getting hip and knee replacement, not because of lack of flexibility. The main reason, loss of cartilage. Loss of cartilage is something that happens with age. Some people lose more, some people lose less. So I will just say in this little end of class diatribe, I will basically say that you will know when you have that kind of pain in your knees. You're going to your doctor and you're getting your knee joint and hip sockets evaluated for loss of cartilage. As a flexibility mobility person, though, I will say that you definitely want to stretch these ligaments. And so that's what you see me doing here. I was holding you there for a long time. This is Marichiasana B, and we'll finish here. We'll finish with the boat pose Navasana sequence, but for the binding, we'll finish here. Look how the foot is next to my thigh. Look at the effort to get the body forward of the leg. The arm swings around. There's your wrist grip. That's what it should be. And then the head bows down. 3. A very interesting and elegant pose. 2. And 1. And release. And I'll always come out thinking, oh my goodness, my ankle, my knee, I know. Good. Now we will add in 2 blocks. And we're going to finish with the boat pose and the press up. And this happens 5 times. We'll do it twice. So I've got blocks here just in case. Let's start with Navasana, the boat pose. And all of the purists, here it is again, have learned how to fall asleep here. Like the legs are straight, toes slightly, pointed, not overly pointed. Ribs up, shoulders back, no hands, no arms. So this is leg control. And then we'll cross the right ankle on top without touching the floor. Push the buttocks up. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Have a seat. Now, ideally, the toes don't touch the floor. We do one more Navasana. The legs unfold. I'm sweating, I'm shaking, I'm burning. So if you're having trouble with this, I'm totally with you. This is the hardest, most devilish thing. They do it 5 times. It's towards the end of class. Most people have given up by now. They've given up after about 45 minutes. The class itself is an hour and 30, an hour and 40 minutes. So most people don't even make it halfway through. You push up, hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, and a 1. Woohoo! Good. Well, let's everybody please roll back on your back. I'm going to scooch forward and set up for a plow pose. So I took out a lot of poses. Took out the second forward fold. Took out Marichiasana C and D. Took out sun salutes in the beginning. Took out the side leg extension. Parshvo Uttiti Hastas Padangustasana, took that one out. Took out the right to left warrior 1 and 2. So this whole class has been a takeaway. Like, what can we take away? What makes sense to take away? I'm going on to a shoulder stand. Now's a good time for a shoulder stand or happy baby's pose if you want to protect your neck. Shoulder stand. If you can get to your lotus in shoulder stand, take it. Breathe. 3. Breathe. 2. On 1. the knees come down to the forehead, but softly. And back to happy baby's pose. We're all in happy baby's pose. So if we've done about 50 minutes, if you can do what I've presented in this video, you are well on your way to being a fairly serious Ashtanga Vinyasa Primary practitioner. Don't be afraid of it. Give yourself time. Now you can stay there if you like and go into Shavasana and rest. Some folks will want to come on and sit up and prepare for maybe 10 minutes of meditation. I always recommend that after following a video. Just turn the video off, set yourself up for meditation. Well, I'm Yogi Cecily. I will put everything where you can read it in descriptions. I'll add it onto the Facebook. This will go onto YouTube this afternoon. And I appreciate any and all donations to venmo.com/Cecily-guest. Those donations are so appreciated because mostly they let me know that you are using and enjoying the classes. So I have some folks will maybe take 3 classes, drop a comment on all 3, and then drop a donation on 1. Definitely comments are great. Following the YouTube page is great. Yes, and sharing me with your friends. Yes, we can do all of those things. I'll be back in the near future. Again, I'm Yogi Cecily, and I so appreciate your efforts today. Thank you. Bye-bye now.